Parley summit, 1 mile away. And climbing up that hill 4 times without a def warning, come on. Last time I hooked up this trailer, it had an absolute meltdown. 3.0 Duramax diesel has def consumption issues. The warning strategy is horrible. Everything about it is bad. So we're gonna go and hook it back up and do that test all over again, this time in a controlled environment. We're gonna take this from Sandy, Utah, up Parley's Canyon and back down. Now the other wild card to this is I just did a reprogramming on the truck a couple days ago. So October 31st, there was a new programming available. So maybe there's a chance that this is fixed with that programming. I don't know. But one other thing, I added 35-inch tires. That's going to make it definitely work a little bit more. And the other thing is, I can't remember the last time when I did this video if I had the modifications on this truck. So let me go over what that is exactly. The truck is a 3.0 Duramax diesel. This is the LZ0. We have the PPE charge air cooler equipped with the charge air cooler radiator installed in there as well. So we have all the cooling efficiency we could possibly want. We also have the Zilla pipe in the back there with the airbox lid. We've got the elbow right there. All of this is available in the links down below the video, so feel free to check those out, but I highly recommend them. I absolutely love them on my truck. So now that we know what the truck has and that we've added on to it, and like I said, I don't know if all this stuff was on there in the last video. I know the 35s weren't, but we're gonna go ahead and hook this back up. Right now it is a 16-foot trailer. I believe this comes in at 3,000 pounds. Let's go and look at the sticker here. We do have our way safe setup, which I absolutely love. One reason is because I can adjust the ball height. I can change the ball size, which I think, I don't think we need the 2-inch one. I think we're sitting on a 2 5/16 for this trailer. Adjusting this up and down is super easy as well. So the height should be the same as it was last time. We're gonna go ahead and hook this up. All right, we are hooked up. Truck is sitting great. What do you think? Let me step back a little bit. It is ready to go, that's for sure. Going over the trailer, I did do a quick little look over, and I'm not overly excited about these bulk tires. This rear one is looking like it's in better shape. Luckily, we're only doing a road trip up and down the hill, but that's definitely sketchy. I did rent this right now solely for this video. So we're gonna go ahead and just do a walk around, but you can see it is a 16-foot trailer. We'll check out these tires as well. Looks like these tires are in a little bit better shape back here. We got a little bit of damage. Remember, I didn't do that. These ones are approaching the wear bar too. So if I was going on any other longer haul, I would definitely walk away from this trailer for safety purposes, but we're gonna just go up and down Parley's. We're gonna take it easy. I just wanna see the def issues, if any, hopefully none, right? All right, on the stop and go, this thing pulls really well. It definitely is not laboring by any means, so the trailer's not super heavy. We do have some wind, so once we get up to speed, it's gonna be interesting to see how it feels at that point in time. But if you're asking the question, can these 3.0 Duramax diesels tow? Yes, they absolutely can. They just have a downside to them in my experience, and that's been the def fluid warnings are horrendous on the dash. It just freaks out because it sprays so much def whenever you're towing. So we're gonna see if that pops up through here. But towing wise, power wise, if you just cruise, they do very well. If you push it hard like I usually do, then you're gonna use more fuel, you're gonna use more def. But we're gonna see, we're just gonna cruise on this going up Parley's. And if you're familiar with the area, then you know what I'm talking about. If not, then you'll see it as we continue driving along. All right, we are making the turn to go ahead and get onto the 215, which runs right next to the 15 freeway right now. Rough start here, so we're gonna go ahead and accelerate. I'm about 3/4 throttle right now. It took a little bit of to get it going. We can definitely feel that there's a trailer back there, but by no means is it unsafe as we accelerate up to speed. You can see how long it took us to get up to 55. I believe this stretch of the freeway is sitting around 60 miles an hour or so. So we got up to speed quick enough to be able to merge safely. Currently showing 15.3 miles driven to get to this point, so we're going to go ahead and monitor this as well. we already have a start of an incline. I feel like this whole drive is going to be an incline. I don't know the grade itself, but maybe the cameras are picking it up. But we're starting here and it just goes up and up. We're going to curve to the left and curve to the right, and it's just an incline the whole 25 miles. So we should see some def warnings pop up. There's a downshift right there. Our EGTs are sitting at 1,083 right there. Go ahead and switch the gauge here. What we're looking at is the Banks iDash Data Pro, and I absolutely love these gauges because it does show me everything that I personally want to see. Now you can see EGT is now up at that #1 slot. We've got our oil pressure, oil temperature, we've got coolant temperature in there. Coolant temperature is sitting really good. Transmission temperature 145. We do have the barbell modification installed in the bypass valve, so if you're unfamiliar with that, check out the video based around that. I think that's been a good upgrade. If you're going to want that flow through the cooler a lot quicker, then the PPE bypass valve works even better than this barbell does, and it requires no modification to the factory unit. There we go, another downshift. It's liking to be right around 3,000 RPMs when we're climbing. Hopefully the cameras pick up the angle that we... Alright, there we go. 80 East Park City. Def is showing 97%, so as you can see, we're watching that just tick down. I'm projecting we get a warning right around 92%. It's just a random guess. The destination I have saved right here on my Waze is actually where I'm going to loop around. I chose a taco place. Speed limit is 65, so we're going to go ahead and be just below that. Set it to 63. Now remember, I did say that I put 35-inch tires on this. So there's roughly a 5% differential on the speed that my truck is seeing versus GPS. So 63 miles per hour actually shows 65 miles per hour on my Waze. You can see, going back to the question of can these 3.0 Duramax diesels tow? Absolutely. If you've got a big camper behind you, it's just take it easy. The slower you go, the better off you are. But as you can see, we're going up this 65 miles an hour, and it tows no problem. It's going to downshift here and there. It's not rapidly downshifting all of the time, but it's definitely just a cool, casual towing adventure up the grade. Blasting past the semis, because 3.0 Duramax power. So we got ourselves a situation. We need to get up to speed from 30. This is awesome. Here we go. I'm going foot to the floor. That's to the floor. There it is, starting to build up. Still foot to the floor. Up to 52. We're going around them. What do we got for EGTs? Sitting at just under 1,300. Still foot to the floor. There we go. I'm going to slowly let out. What more could you really ask out of this truck? It got it done. We didn't cause any accidents behind us. Well, we can't see them, so we don't know. But we were able to power through to get it up. Look at that sight. Got nice blue skies. Got clouds. All right, so we made it up to Parley Summit and beyond a little bit, obviously. with no issues on the dash. So we need to go back down to the bottom and back up it one more time, maybe two more times, until we get our DEF warning to pop up. If we don't get one after the third time up Parley Summit, I'm going to say that it was resolved with the reprogramming. All right, let's loop back on. See, that's why I chose that exit. I felt like, oh, that thing jumped. All right, here we go. There's going to be a small climb so we can get back up to Parley Summit, and then we're going to go to a decel all the way down. Let's see if we can pass this Prius. Okay, once I said that, the truck said, hell yeah, we are. We get the same mileage. All right, we're back at the exit. This is 6200, I believe, is what we chose to loop back onto the freeway. This is going to be back onto the 215. There is an incline all the way up until we hit the 80. We're going to throw everybody for a loop right here. Watch us go. Don't follow us. Okay, our easy. This truck is just ready to go. That exit. That was a good one. Alright, getting up to speed. Power is just phenomenal right now. We're doing great. I do want to point out one thing on the Banks iDash Data Pro here, that my soot level is sitting at 0%. That's because we were running such high EGTs climbing up those hills that it was actually doing a passive regen throughout the whole time and burned off all the soot within the exhaust system. The problem is the DPF regen percent still continued to tick up, so we're still going to have a regen at some point, even though the soot level is at 0%. So heat is a good thing for that exhaust. I'm going to go and go back to the other screen, so that way we can monitor everything else. We are climbing up to Parley Summit for a second time. Roughly 10 miles of this going up, and then we have 3 additional miles to help with the loop back around. You can see the camera set up here, so that way we can see things better on the gauge. But we're going up. We're awaiting our DEF warning to pop up, and so this is round 2. We will do up to 3 if we have to. I don't think there's any reason to do any beyond 3, because I mean, this is a big sail of a trailer. You saw it from the beginning of the video, but let's go ahead and continue on. Drop speed, there we go, 51, foot to the floor. Almost 4,000 RPMs. Shift 66. Climbing great. All right, we are definitely taking longer than expected, but I really want to confirm if this is actually fixed, then I need to know. So we're on another camera right now while the other one is charging up and cooling down. This is getting very interesting. I was only going to do this 2 times up and down Parleys. Then I changed it to 3 times. Now I'm thinking 4 times. We're sitting at 92%, 93, 92 fluctuating for DEF level. So we're definitely using DEF. The system is not freaking out, which is freaking me out because That's what I'm used to. So did GM fix this issue? I don't know. But we're going to continue on so that way we can really get to the bottom of this. If it passes 4 times up Parley's, I don't know. I'm going to feel pretty good that maybe that recent reflash actually fixed this issue. But we won't know until we continue 2 more times. And climbing up that hill 4 times without a def warning, come on. All right, here we go. We are looping back over to the Parley's. Nobody follow me. This is trip, we're working on trip number 3. Let's get it. Started with 100% def, we're down to 91% def. Truck has not skipped a beat. No warnings. We're back on the 215, heading up towards the 80, which will bring us up Parley's. Once again, this is round 3 going up Parley's. You can see the gauges back there. We're sitting at about 92, 93% def level, so we are using pretty good amount of def. We have gone roughly 100 miles in total since last fill up, and we've lost a quarter tank. So we're definitely pushing the truck hard. We have not gotten any warnings at all as far as the def goes. I'm very surprised right now. We're going to continue doing this. I'm thinking 4 total rounds up Parley's. If we make it to the top of Parley's summit at the 4th time and we don't get a def warning, I'm going to say that my truck is currently resolved. But we'll see. Let's not jump the gun. We are on climb number 3, and here we go. Foot to the floor. Again, that is foot to the floor. Climbing, no problem. Letting out a little bit, 3/4, about half. Did not run into that pothole this time. That's great success. Still just holding steady, 3,000 RPMs, just below 3,000 RPMs, all the way up. If this thing's gonna trigger, I mean, this is what's going to trigger it. So I'm hoping to just hold throttle right where it's at, not be forced to let out. Temperature's sitting at 248 for engine oil temp, coolant temp 207, EGT staying right around 1200 degrees. Regen showing 85%. Soot level 0%, so we are just burning off. You can see all the temperatures. It's almost like it's going through a regen right now because EGT1, that temperature is carrying throughout the exhaust. That's why we have 0% there, but we're gonna go ahead and keep on going. This is nice. This is the longest we've been able to hold 3,000 RPMs steady. Ooh. I passed by that truck. It looked like smoke between the trailer and the truck itself. All right, well, round 3. I am absolutely amazed right now. Still no def warning. We have to do a 4th. It's 3:30. We're going to be hitting the thick of traffic by the time we end this. So there's only so much more we're going to be able to do. But this last one, we're going to do this last 4th one. And then I'm going to call it a confirmation that we have a DEF issue resolved. All right, we are continuing on camera swap again. So we had some charging going on this one, but we are rolling back onto the 80. We're going to go ahead. We just completed trip number 3 up Parley's. We want to do a 4th because, yeah, I mean, for science, we're at 89% DEF level. We were humming up that one that time, more so than prior, maybe. I don't know. At this point, it's hard to remember. But we will do it again. We've got a little bit of a climb right now, back up towards Parley Summit, and then it'll be the downhill, obviously, and we'll loop back around and we'll climb up Parley's once again for a 4th time. And I think at that point we're going to call it. Round 4 up Parley's. We're climbing to Parley Summit for the 4th time. This will be the final time. I don't think we need to go much further. We've already burned through 15% of the DEF. Half the fuel tank is gone. I think we're really going to give it all the marbles at this point and see what we got. Alright, just about 150 miles with this trailer towing this thing. We've used half a tank while towing it. We're approaching Parley Summit yet again, 4th time. We've had no DEF warnings pop up, sitting at 84% DEF level right now. So we've burned through 16% of DEF with absolutely no warnings showing up on the cluster. Absolutely amazing right now. This is going to make towing adventures so much better as long as this continues. But there it is, Parley Summit. We just reached it. That concludes this 4 trips up to Parley Summit. This is absolutely wild. I can't believe that this is actually resolved. This is the #1 complaint with the LZ0 trucks, is the DEF consumption and the warnings popping up there. Obviously we still have DEF consumption at this point. That's a-okay with me. It's the warnings that lock you out of the cluster. I absolutely hate those, and right now it looks like we have those resolved. $195 miles traveled, well, roughly 180 miles towing. Last time I towed this trailer was with that video. That was horrible. I just pulled this 16-foot trailer right here. Had no DEF warning issues pop up on this whatsoever.